Hi, I'm your host, Sammy Savona, and today we are joined here by Professor Tracy Hill. Hi, Tracy. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Great, great. So today we're going to do our first episode of MU Flex. Our first episode features yoga. Now, Tracy, question. How did you get started teaching and performing yoga?
I actually started yoga about 15 years ago, and it was more about the physical practice. I wanted to complement my cardio workouts. But a few years after that, I was hit by a car. I hurt my foot,
Wow.
and it never really healed correctly. I was also battling an autoimmune disease. And with all of that going on, I kind of was just looking for something new. And I started practicing yoga daily. And it became more of not just a physical practice, but it became more of a mind-body awareness.
Wow.
I learned to breathe deeper. I was able to calm myself down in stressful situations. And I just had a better sense of awareness of my entire body.
Wow.
And I just loved the benefits, and I wanted to share it with everyone else. And I attended a teacher training, and I started teaching from there.
Wow.
So it's been great.
So throughout your accident, throughout your experiences, you almost used yoga as a way to cope with it.
Absolutely. Yoga was a way with coping, not just with my injury, but with everything else going on in life. And, you know, I found so much compassion and so much healing inside of me. And it just came at the perfect time.
Right.
So.
That's a very inspirational story.
Thank you.
Now, Tracy, how long have you been teaching yoga? You said 15 years?
I've been practicing about 15 years. I've been teaching almost 10 years already.
Wow.
And I love it. It's a gift that I love to share with everybody else. And I think the best part is just seeing my students evolve and change in their own practice.
Yeah.
So.
Now, besides yoga, is there any other form of exercise that you perform? Do you like to do maybe, do you ever go to the gym, maybe do Zumba, or is yoga just?
Besides yoga, I do a little cardio in the morning. I like to get in like 25 minutes on the elliptical or the treadmill. But mostly it's yoga. I do a little Pilates. I've taken 1 or 2 Zumba classes, which are fun, but unfortunately I don't seem to have the time.
I don't have the feet to do Zumba. I have 2 left feet, people say, when I do Zumba.
It's difficult. It's difficult. And yoga is something that I can get up early in the morning before my kids get up, and I can throw out my mat and do it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, even longer. So.
Right. Now, what are the benefits of yoga that people maybe don't know?
There are so many benefits to yoga, and I think a lot of people think the physical practice. It is physical. You can definitely build strength, but you're also increasing your flexibility. And for a lot of the people that go to the gym and work out a lot, their muscles are very tight. So yoga is something that they seek to become more flexible. It's also, it helps with the mind.
Yeah.
So, you know, this day and age, we're all type A, and we're running and running and running. And yoga gives you that chance to kind of calm down and check in with yourself, breathe deeply, learn how to breathe correctly. So there's so many positive benefits to the practice.
Right. Now, I took yoga last semester, and there's so many awesome different poses. Now, out of all those poses, which one is your favorite, would you say?
One of my favorite poses would be crow pose, which is an arm balance.
Oh.
And I think I like the challenge of it because it increases my strength, my balance, and it also forces me to concentrate and just be more aware of how I'm feeling.
Right.
So.
That's awesome. Now, for people out there that maybe haven't performed yoga or don't know much about it, because before I took the class, I really didn't have a sense of what yoga was all about until I took the class. How should people get started, or, you know, what's a good way for people to get into yoga?
The best way to get started into yoga is to maybe find a class that's geared towards beginners, even a gentle class, a restorative class, but it's accessible to anyone. So even if you step into a class and it seems to be a little bit more challenging, the best part about yoga is that you can adapt it to your ability. And I think a lot of people think that, you know, they're not going to be as good as the person on the mat next to them. But what's important to remember is that you need to let go of the ego and do what you can in that present moment. And it just kind of falls into place. The more you practice, the more strength and flexibility you gain. So, you know, just being comfortable on the mat and knowing that it's okay to not do everything.
Right, right. Yeah. Now, Tracy, lastly, where did you begin teaching yoga? And, like, what were your steps to becoming a professor here at Monmouth University?
I started teaching yoga. I had a fitness certification. And when I started practicing yoga, I had asked if there was a class I could teach. And I started at a small gym. And I kind of grew from there. After I took my teacher training, it opened up more doors for me. And I started teaching at gyms and studios throughout Monmouth and Ocean County. And I'm also an information technology professor here at Monmouth.
Wow.
And I've assisted in the health studies department teaching yoga as well.
Wow. So you're a well-rounded person. So not just yoga, but info, because I've minored in infotech, and it is not easy.
Yeah, well, you know what? Thankfully, I'm pretty good with computers. I enjoy it, and it's kind of my second life. You know, I teach computers, I teach yoga, but it's a really nice balance. So, you know, I love doing both. And I have to say, just being grateful and thankful for everything that I have and the opportunities I've had. So
great. Thank you so much, Tracy.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. All right, guys, we're going to go back to studio. This was Professor Hill. Thank you again for joining us today on MU Flex.